I lost a lot of work.
All I was a joke.
Actress Sharon Stone may have been the ultimate femme fatale of the 90s, but off-screen, her personal life was far more dramatic than any Hollywood movie. In fact, no worldly amount of glitz and glamour would be enough to make up for all the craziness that's pervaded her existence. Her freak accidents, constant mistreatment, and never-ending medical nightmares all serve to show that Sharon's greatest achievement of all may simply have been surviving. Stay tuned as Sharon Stone finally opens up about her experiences, confirming what many have suspected all along. Recently, Sharon Stone admits to trying to confront her demons due to mental health struggles in emotional interview. The 66-year-old Basic Instinct star shared on Turkish Tea Talk with Alex Salmond that, like everyone else, she too grapples with personal demons. She emphasized the importance of continuously picking oneself up and extending a helping hand to others, even if one has contributed to putting them down. Stone, who collaborates with the World Health Organization, highlighted the alarming statistic that 1 in 10 people globally is experiencing a mental health crisis. She stressed the significance of individuals taking responsibility for their own healing rather than solely relying on political leaders to implement policies that may aid them. The Total Recall actress concluded by reflecting on her career, including a recent revelation about a distressing encounter with a movie producer who allegedly pressured her to engage in sexual activities for professional gain. But what else has happened in her life? Let's embark on a journey through her past to uncover the real story behind her experiences. The family Stone. Born into an Irish-American family, Sharon Von Stone entered the world on March 10, 1958, in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Her parents, Dorothy Marie, an accountant, and Joseph William Stone II, a tool and die manufacturer, welcomed Sharon as the second of 4 children. Even in her early years, it was evident that Sharon possessed a remarkable uniqueness that set her apart from her siblings. Gifted with exceptional intelligence, Sharon's academic prowess became apparent during her childhood, sparking a rumor that has persisted throughout her life. It's been said that her IQ reaches an impressive 154, a figure often associated with membership in Mensa, an organization for individuals with high IQs. Despite not being an official Mensa member, there's speculation that she could easily meet the criteria. This extraordinary intellect propelled her into 2nd grade at the remarkable age of 5, setting the stage for her exceptional journey ahead. While still navigating her teenage years, Sharon's intellectual capabilities opened doors to higher education. At the age of 15, she earned a creative writing scholarship to Edinburgh State University of Pennsylvania, a remarkable achievement for someone so young. However, despite her early success in academia, Sharon's path took an unexpected turn, all thanks to a fateful bet. Although one might assume that Sharon would continue to pursue a path of intellectual rigor, fate had other plans in store. She became a beauty queen. On a whim and a $50 bet, Sharon Stone stepped into the realm of beauty pageants, ultimately clinching the title of Miss Crawford County. This victory catapulted her into the spotlight as a contestant for the Miss Pennsylvania pageant the following year, though she didn't secure another win. Despite falling short of the crown, her presence didn't go unnoticed. In fact, one judge saw star potential and urged Sharon to forsake her college studies in favor of a modeling career in New York City. Despite the encouragement from the judge, Sharon faced staunch opposition from her professors, who advocated for her continued education. Yet Sharon's resolve was unshakable. Fueled by ambition, she made the bold decision to abandon academia and pursue her dreams in the bustling metropolis of New York. Embracing the world of modeling, Sharon found herself under the prestigious representation of the Ford Modeling Agency. Determined to explore her true passion, Sharon transitioned from modeling to acting, returning to the bustling streets of New York. Yet, success didn't come easily. Despite landing a minor role in a Woody Allen film, Sharon spent the ensuing years navigating a landscape of minor or uncredited roles, facing the harsh realities of the entertainment industry. However, perseverance eventually paid off when Sharon secured a starring role in the 1984 TV movie, The Vegas Strip War. Little did she realize, this opportunity would mark a turning point in her career, propelling her towards the stardom she had always envisioned. She fell in love. As fate would have it, love found its mark on the set of one of Sharon's films. It was there that she crossed paths with the film's producer, Michael Greenberg, and what ensued was a whirlwind romance that swiftly led to marriage later that year. However, their union, fueled by passion, proved to be short-lived. 3 years after tying the knot, Sharon and Michael parted ways, their love unable to withstand the pressures of Hollywood and the fast-paced nature of their relationship. Their divorce was finalized in 1990, marking the end of a chapter in Sharon's personal life. Despite the heartache of her failed marriage, Sharon's professional life began to show signs of promise. She started to land more significant roles in various projects, occasionally working alongside renowned figures in the industry. However, Sharon couldn't shake the feeling of being overlooked for leading roles. It wasn't until her manager revealed a harsh reality that Sharon began to understand the underlying reason behind her struggle. Hollywood deemed her insufficiently sexy by its standards. Determined to prove her versatility as an actress, Sharon realized she needed to embrace her seductive side more boldly. This epiphany led her to pursue roles that showcased her provocative allure. Yet despite her eagerness, Sharon encountered a frustrating obstacle. When a coveted role that perfectly aligned with her newfound approach emerged, she found herself excluded from consideration. Despite her persistence, no one would provide her with the script or grant her an audition. Faced with this challenge, Sharon's manager took matters into his own hands, resorting to unconventional methods to obtain the script for her. His daring act of breaking into the casting director's office allowed Sharon to finally read the script and consider the role. Little did she know, her connection to the film's director would soon come to light. She landed a blockbuster movie. In 1990, Sharon Stone's career trajectory reached new heights when she landed the coveted role of an adoring wife-turned-assassin in Paul Verhoeven's action-packed film Total Recall, starring alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie received critical acclaim and amassed a staggering $261.2 million in global box office earnings, catapulting Sharon into the spotlight and solidifying her status as a sought-after actress in Hollywood. Amidst her rising fame, Sharon made a bold and somewhat controversial move that further heightened her public profile. Just as Total Recall hit theaters, Sharon fearlessly graced the pages of the July 1990 issue of Playboy, showcasing her toned physique acquired during filming. While some may have raised eyebrows at her decision, Sharon's strategic intent was crystal clear. Contrary to mere whimsy, Sharon's decision to pose for Playboy was a calculated career move aimed at reshaping her public image to align with the demands of future roles. Remember the tantalizing part she was denied the opportunity to screen test for? Well, Sharon recognized the necessity of embodying a more provocative and seductive persona for such roles. By bearing it all in Playboy, she strategically positioned herself as a femme fatale capable of tackling the complexities of such characters. And indeed, her calculated gamble paid off, albeit with mixed reactions. She fought for the part. Despite her manager's persistent efforts, Sharon Stone faced a significant obstacle in securing her breakthrough role in the film Basic Instinct. Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't the director Paul Verhoeven who posed the challenge. Instead, it was the male lead, Michael Douglas, who initially resisted the idea of testing with Sharon. However, after months of relentless persuasion, Paul finally relented and conducted a screen test with Sharon himself. Interestingly, Sharon wasn't the first choice for the role. In fact, she was the 13th actress offered the part after a string of rejections from others. Undeterred by this setback, Sharon seized the opportunity with determination, delivering a stellar performance that captivated both the director and the producers. Finally, Michael Douglas agreed to screen test with her, marking a turning point in Sharon's career. Sharon's performance in the film Basic Instinct as the provocative antagonist Catherine Tremell was widely acclaimed, earning her the recognition she had long sought. The movie garnered numerous award nominations, along with one less flattering Golden Raspberry Award. With a worldwide box office haul of $352.9 million, Basic Instinct emerged as one of the most commercially successful films of the 1990s. It was a pivotal moment in Sharon's career, one that should have filled her with elation. However, instead of basking in the glow of success, she found herself thrust into a nightmare of unexpected challenges. She drove herself mad. Behind the glamour of Hollywood, the making of Basic Instinct proved to be a harrowing experience for Sharon Stone. In her quest to embody the complex character of Catherine Tremell, Sharon delved deep into the darkest recesses of her own psyche, pushing herself to uncomfortable limits. This intense method acting took a toll on her mental well-being, plunging her into a world of terrifying nightmares and even episodes of sleepwalking. Yet, the challenges didn't end there. Prior to filming, Sharon faced appalling treatment from certain individuals involved in the production. Shockingly, one producer suggested that she should engage in inappropriate behavior with her co-star to enhance their on-screen chemistry. Such behavior would be unequivocally condemned today, but in the less enlightened era of the 1990s, Sharon felt compelled to endure such pressure in silence. The ordeal didn't stop once filming commenced. Despite her eventual iconic association with the infamous leg-crossing scene in Basic Instinct, the circumstances surrounding it were far from glamorous. Sharon was misled about the explicit nature of the scene, believing that her intimate areas would remain concealed from view. It was only later, after the film's release, that she discovered the shocking truth. Her nudity had been captured on camera without her full consent. She felt exploited. Once filming wrapped up, Sharon Stone was invited to watch the movie for the first time. However, her anticipation turned to surprise and confusion upon entering the room, finding herself surrounded by agents and lawyers who had no involvement in the project. As the film began to play, Sharon witnessed for the first time the true nature of the controversial scene, leaving her utterly appalled and feeling betrayed. Filled with anger and a sense of betrayal, Sharon stormed out of the room and headed straight for the projection booth, where she confronted the director, Paul Verhoeven, delivering a resounding slap across his face in a moment of raw emotion. Determined to assert her rights, Sharon promptly contacted her lawyer to explore legal avenues, considering filing an injunction against the filmmakers for their unethical actions. However, upon reflection, Sharon ultimately chose to forego legal action. After much deliberation, Sharon concluded that despite the violation of her rights, the filming was ultimately in line with the artistic vision of the film and the demands of her character. "I did it," she reasoned, accepting the consequences of her decision for the sake of the film's integrity. Unfortunately, this decision would later backfire, as the release of the movie led to an erroneous association between Sharon's real-life persona and the provocative character she portrayed on screen, fueling further speculation and gossip. She became a real-life femme fatale. In 1993, Sharon took on a leading role in the thriller Sliver, a film co-produced by William J. MacDonald, who happened to be very much married at the time. Despite this, a romantic entanglement ensued between Sharon and William, resulting in William leaving his wife for Sharon. However, their affair was anything but straightforward, as it bore striking resemblances to certain aspects of the film itself. The parallels between fiction and reality were uncanny. In Sliver, Sharon's character discovers eerie similarities between herself and the former tenant of her new apartment, the blue-eyed blonde Naomi, who met a tragic end under mysterious circumstances. Coincidentally, William's real-life wife at the time also happened to be a blue-eyed blonde named Naomi, adding another layer of intrigue to the situation. But the similarities didn't end there. In the film, Sharon's character embarks on a passionate relationship with her dark-haired neighbor Zeke, who had previously been involved with the character she resembles, Naomi. Strangely enough, Zeke was portrayed by actor William Baldwin, who shared a first name with Sharon's real-life beau, William J. McDonald, at the time. This convergence of fiction and reality created a bizarre and tangled web of connections. Just as Sharon's character's on-screen romance with Zeke ended in turmoil, so too did Sharon and William's affair. Her relationship soured. Despite their engagement, Sharon and William's love story took a sudden turn for the worse in 1994, ending just a year after it began. The circumstances surrounding their breakup remain shrouded in mystery, but it's evident that their relationship came to a bitter end. Sharon's reaction spoke volumes as she returned her engagement ring to William via FedEx, signaling the definitive end of their romance. The discord on the set of Sliver extended beyond Sharon's personal life. According to the film's director, Philip Noyce, Sharon and her co-star William Baldwin clashed to such an extent that they preferred to film their scenes separately whenever possible. The tension between them reached its peak during an intimate scene, where their animosity reportedly boiled over into open hostility. In a chilling revelation, Philip Noyce recounted an incident where Sharon allegedly bit William's tongue so forcefully during a kissing scene that he struggled to speak for days afterward. While screenwriter Joe Esterhaas corroborated this account, Sharon dismissed it as hilarious, describing William as sweet and young and naive. Despite these denials, Sharon found herself embroiled in yet another tumultuous on-screen romance. She refused to cooperate. In 1994, Sharon starred alongside Sylvester Stallone in the action-packed movie The Specialist. Unlike some of her previous co-stars, Sharon reportedly got along well with Stallone on set. However, trouble brewed during the filming of a particularly steamy scene when Sharon balked at the idea of filming in the nude. Unwilling to continue performing without clothes on, Sharon initially refused to participate in an intimate shower scene with Stallone, much to his annoyance. However, Stallone devised a cunning solution. He retrieved a bottle of booze from his trailer and, after sharing it with Sharon, the two actors proceeded to act out the scene together, with surprising authenticity. Despite their convincing performance, Sharon wasn't the only one uncomfortable with the situation. Stallone's then-wife, Jennifer Flavin, reportedly became distressed, believing that such intimate scenes could lead to genuine feelings between co-stars. As a result, Stallone followed in Sharon's footsteps and began refusing to film similar scenes in his future projects, a decision he was permitted to make, unlike Sharon. Nevertheless, Sharon wasted no time in moving on from the situation. She got engaged again. In the same year, Sharon crossed paths with her next romantic interest, Bob Wagner, a first assistant director, while working on her latest film, The Quick and the Dead. Their connection blossomed quickly, leading to an engagement, marking yet another instance of Sharon finding love on set. However, similar to her previous relationships, this one too ended in a breakup not long after. Following her split from Bob, Sharon found herself walking down the aisle again, this time with Phil Bronstein, an American journalist and editor, on Valentine's Day in 1998. The initial euphoria of their marriage, however, soon gave way to heartbreak as Sharon endured several miscarriages in their quest to conceive a child. Their struggles took a devastating turn when it was revealed that Sharon was battling both an autoimmune disease and endometriosis, rendering her unable to carry a child biologically. Despite the heartbreaking setback, Sharon and Phil found solace in the possibility of adoption. In 2000, they welcomed their son, Roan Joseph Bronstein, into their lives through adoption, bringing immeasurable joy to their family. At the age of 42, Sharon finally realized her dream of becoming a mother. However, her journey was far from over as she continued to grapple with challenging health issues that tested her resilience and strength. She developed tumors. In 2001, Sharon faced a health scare when she developed large tumors that necessitated immediate surgery for their removal. Fortunately, the tumors turned out to be benign, but the procedure left Sharon in need of reconstructive surgery. Although she consented to undergo a second surgery, she was shocked by the outcome upon waking up. Expecting to look more or less the same after the reconstructive surgery, Sharon was dismayed to discover a disturbing change. Her plastic surgeon had unilaterally decided to increase her breast size without her consent, believing it would better complement her hip size. Waking up to find herself a full cup size larger than expected, Sharon understandably felt a mix of anger and humiliation. Before she could fully process the situation, another unexpected event rocked Sharon's world. During a private tour of the Los Angeles Zoo, arranged by Sharon as a Father's Day gift for her husband Phil, he decided to approach a 5-foot-long Komodo dragon for a closer look. The ill-advised decision led to a dangerous encounter as Phil found himself attacked by the formidable reptile, turning what was meant to be a special occasion into a harrowing ordeal. The zookeeper advised Phil to remove his white shoes and socks to prevent the Komodo dragon from mistaking them for rats. But unfortunately, the dragon attacked his foot regardless. Thankfully, Phil managed to escape, and Sharon quickly improvised by using a sock as an emergency tourniquet to stop the bleeding. Despite surviving the terrifying ordeal, Phil required surgery to reattach many of the tendons in his foot. However, this was just the beginning of the hospital visits for Sharon and Phil. Soon after Phil's recovery, Sharon would face the toughest illness of her life. She became extremely sick. In September of that year, Sharon began experiencing excruciating head pain and numbness in her leg. Strangely, her body temperature dropped while her blood pressure rose, signaling that something was seriously wrong. Enduring the agony for several days, Sharon eventually sought medical help and was rushed to the hospital. Upon arrival, she suddenly collapsed, alarming her doctors. By the 5th day, Sharon was in unbearable pain, drifting in and out of consciousness, and unable to perform basic functions like eating or standing. After days of uncertainty, her doctors delivered a devastating diagnosis. Sharon had suffered a massive stroke, with bleeding occurring in her face, brain, head, and spine for the past 9 days. With such a dire prognosis, her chances of survival seemed bleak. As Sharon was wheeled into surgery, the odds were stacked against her. With only a 1% chance of survival, her future hung in the balance, and for a month, her fate remained uncertain. Remarkably, Sharon remained unaware of the severity of her condition at the time, learning the grim reality from a magazine later on. Despite the odds, Sharon defied expectations and survived, but her journey to recovery would prove to be arduous and challenging. She struggled to recover. Despite overcoming the odds, Sharon was left significantly debilitated. For months, she grappled with facial drooping, impaired directional hearing, visual distortions, memory issues, a slight drag in her right leg, and difficulties with reading and speaking without stuttering. Adding to her challenges, she was also diagnosed with a brain seizure condition, necessitating medication. It was a lot to handle. While Sharon has made significant strides in her recovery, she continues to contend with lingering side effects. Yet her ordeal didn't end there. Sharon described feeling as though her very DNA had undergone a transformation post-stroke. Strangely, she developed allergies to medications and foods she once enjoyed, while also acquiring a newfound fondness for curry. Additionally, she noted a shift in her demeanor, becoming noticeably calmer and ultimately embracing Buddhism. Unfortunately, these changes strained her marriage. Her husband left her. 2 years after Sharon's stroke, her husband filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Initially, they shared joint custody of their son, Roan, following their divorce in 2004. However, the situation took a drastic turn in 2008 when Phil sought full custody of their son, sparking a tumultuous legal battle that left many feeling outraged. The tendency of the public to blur the lines between Sharon and her on-screen personas took a distressing turn during their custody battle. In a particularly unsettling moment, the judge, influenced by this perception, posed an inappropriate question to Sharon's young son, asking if he was aware of his mother's work in XXX movies. Shockingly, this biased perspective led to the judge granting full custody to Phil, relegating Sharon to mere visitation rights. The ruling left Sharon shattered to her core. Devastated by the loss of custody, Sharon plunged into a deep depression, unable to cope with the separation from her son. She found herself unable to function, resorting to afternoon naps and extreme fasting that bordered on anorexia. The toll on her health was profound. Sharon began experiencing heart issues, confirmed by her doctor who diagnosed her with irregular heartbeats in both the upper and lower chambers. Reflecting on this period, Sharon remarked, "I had simply given up. It felt as though my heart was truly broken." She adopted more children. After losing custody of Roan, Sharon found herself navigating motherhood without her eldest son. Seeking solace and a sense of family, Sharon chose to expand her household by adopting 2 more boys, Laird Vaughn in 2005 and Quinn Kelly Stone in 2006. While these additions couldn't fill the void left by Roan's absence, they allowed Sharon to rebuild her family in her own way. Despite her personal successes, Sharon struggled to reignite her acting career following her stroke. Hollywood's unwritten rule of out of sight, out of mind meant Sharon faced difficulties securing roles upon her return to the industry. The few opportunities she did secure were met with harsh criticism from critics, leading to a decline in her star status. Faced with this setback, Sharon shifted her focus to other pursuits. Sharon harbored regrets about never completing her college education, particularly since she was the first woman in her family to have the opportunity to attend college. Inspired by Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, Sharon realized the power of pursuing one's dreams. In 2016, she made the decision to finish what she started at the age of 15 and re-enrolled in her former college to complete her degree online. With her diploma in hand, Sharon proudly stands as a college graduate, a testament to her resilience and determination. Despite the challenges she's faced, Sharon's journey is a testament to her unwavering spirit. However, beneath her outward positivity, Sharon harbored dark secrets from her childhood that would soon come to light. Her father hurt her. Sharon Stone has only recently opened up about a dark secret she carried for years. Throughout her elementary school years and into her teens, her father subjected her to physical abuse. According to Sharon's account, these weren't isolated incidents. Yelling, grabbing, throwing, these were all part of a terrifying reality. In her own words, she described being dragged to the basement and beaten with a belt. The abuse continued relentlessly, Sharon wrote, until I was so sure I didn't do what I was being punished for that I lost all fear, all concern, in fact, all feeling. I simply saw my father as weak. But something shifted within Sharon at the age of 14. Having endured years of torment, she reached a breaking point. She confronted her father directly, questioning if his violence made him feel more powerful. She then delivered a powerful statement. I didn't love him, had never loved him, and never would love him. Her words struck a chord. Her father, visibly shaken, broke down in tears. This marked a turning point. The abuse stopped, not just for Sharon, but for her siblings as well. Thankfully, Sharon's relationship with her father eventually healed. Despite the trauma, she spoke of having respect and love for him before his passing in 2009. Unfortunately, her childhood struggles extended far beyond her father. In a disturbing revelation, Sharon disclosed that her maternal grandfather, Clarence Lawson, also inflicted abuse on her and her younger sister Kelly when they were just toddlers. The abuse, which included inappropriate physical contact and threats, deeply impacted both girls. They have bravely sought therapy to deal with the trauma. But as if these burdens weren't enough, Sharon hints at yet another layer of darkness in her past. Her grandmother was no prize either. The betrayal went deeper than just her grandfather. As unbelievable as it sounds, Sharon revealed that her grandmother actively participated in the abuse. She would lock Sharon and her sister Kelly in a room with their grandfather, essentially becoming an accomplice to his horrific acts. This shattered Sharon's sense of trust at a young age, making it understandable that she would need some form of closure. When Sharon's grandfather finally died when she was 14, the scars left by his abuse ran deep. Haunted by the trauma, she couldn't simply accept his passing. In a moment of raw emotion, Sharon approached the casket and poked his body. She described it as a bizarre satisfaction, a physical confirmation that the nightmare was truly over. She looked at her younger sister Kelly, then 11 years old, and their eyes met in a silent understanding. One chapter may have closed, but another painful truth loomed on the horizon. She had an accident. In that same year, Sharon found herself in the midst of a harrowing horse riding incident that would leave her fighting for her life. While her mother was busy hanging sheets on the clothesline in their yard, Sharon, barefoot and daring, decided to mount a wild horse with hopes of breaking it in. However, the situation quickly spiraled out of control when the horse took off unexpectedly. Despite the horse's frantic bucking, rearing, and spinning, Sharon managed to cling on desperately. It wasn't until they were dangerously close to her mother's clothesline that Sharon realized the imminent danger. In a terrifying turn of events, the clothesline snagged around Sharon's neck, trapping her in place as her feet slipped through the stirrups. The panicked horse showed no signs of calming down, leaving Sharon immobilized and vulnerable. Luckily, her mother soon noticed the perilous situation and intervened just in time, pushing the horse away to free Sharon from the clothesline. However, the relief was short-lived as the horse bolted once more, dragging Sharon along with it. Displaying remarkable strength and determination, her mother managed to grab Sharon by the leg and free her from the horse's grasp. Despite her mother's heroics, Sharon's ordeal was far from over. Her neck bore a severe gash from ear to ear, perilously close to her jugular vein. Blood soaked her shirt, highlighting the urgent need for medical attention. Sharon's life hung in the balance, requiring swift intervention to ensure her survival. Sharon's parents wasted no time in rushing her to the hospital, but once there, she faced a frustrating wait for treatment as the doctors deliberated on the best course of action. Growing increasingly impatient, Sharon's dad took matters into his own hands, forcefully ushering a hesitant doctor into the room and demanding immediate attention for his daughter. Thankfully, the doctor happened to be a surgeon and was able to clean and stitch Sharon's wound back together, albeit with less than ideal results. As Sharon's wound healed, it left behind a prominent rope-like scar that evolved in color over time, from a vivid red to a softer pink, before eventually fading to white. The scar remained a stark reminder of her traumatic experience, prompting Sharon to undergo several surgeries in the following years in an attempt to minimize its visibility. Although the scar is barely noticeable today, Sharon has come to embrace it as a symbol of her resilience and survival. She got struck by lightning. Okay, so lightning strikes are supposed to be rare occurrences, right? Well, unless your last name happens to be Stone, it seems. In another twist of chaotic fate, Sharon's dad found himself struck by lightning while standing near a towering oak tree in their yard. But the lightning drama didn't stop there. Sharon was innocently filling an iron with water at the kitchen sink, getting ready to press her work uniform when lightning unexpectedly hit the family's well. The electricity surged into the house through the water pipes, catching Sharon off guard with her hand still on the faucet. The jolt was so powerful that it sent her flying through the air. Sharon Stone ended up crashing into the refrigerator, knocking herself unconscious. When her mother, who must have been through countless hair-raising experiences by then, found her daughter lying on the floor, barely conscious, she resorted to an effective wake-up call, a firm slap across the face. Startled awake, Sharon was quickly ushered into the car and rushed back to the hospital. It was there that the extent of her injuries became painfully clear. Once again, Sharon wasn't getting away from this accident unscathed. An electrocardiogram revealed that she had a prolapsed valve in her heart and showed irregular electrical activity. It was so concerning that Sharon had to endure daily trips to the hospital for repeat EKGs over the next few weeks to monitor her heart's condition. But, as they say, life moves forward. Despite the heart damage, Sharon's brain remained unaffected, and she went on to carve out a legendary career for herself.